Alright, everyone. Welcome back to the next episode of the Raiders Rambles. I am Avera, currently taking over for Jolt, who is away for this week. And we have none other than our incredible tech producer, Noble.
Hi, are we live?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. For 23 seconds. Alright.
Eh.
We got Gil.
Hello, everyone. How's it been going? It's been quite a while, hasn't it?
Alright, great to see you. We have
Great to see you
Aeon.
again.
Alright, Aeon?
Hello, good to see y'all. Sorry it's been a minute.
Alright.
Priorities and such had to be done.
Fair enough. And last but not least, we have Orion.
Hello,
All right.
it's me, Orion. The weird alien guy.
First story on the agenda, Noble, if you'd like to lead us off here, we got the cancellation of Hamilton. Yes, that one, the play.
Are you serious?
Huh?
Yes.
Yep.
They finally canceled it.
Why would they
What-
cancel
I
that
wanna hear
play?
I want to hear this.
Because
Sorry.
that means you're saying to me that a play which has an ethnically diverse cast is racist, apparently.
Because they were quote-unquote slave owners.
Yep,
So-
that's pretty much the crux.
This is what's getting me. This picture here in the story, you have an clearly African American in the actual cast, and yet this isn't inclusive enough.
No, well, this play was, hailed as being extremely progressive and like a modern take on American history. It won a lot of awards. But now...
But
because
yet
they're
it wasn't enough.
toppling statues, like, they want to get rid of this because the characters were slave owners, apparently. I mean, they were, but...
Okay,
It wasn't.
so when you say former slave owners, does that mean they were slave owners and they decided not to be, or were they slave owners in that part of history completely?
Well,
Honestly,
they're dead now, if
I
that's what you're
don't
asking.
care.
Uh,
I
one
really
of
don't care,
them,
'cause it doesn't matter.
yeah, one of them was legitimate. Whereas one of them died, and in his will, the will said to free his people who were indentured servants to him.
I believe that was Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson, I think.
Yeah, I think that was Jefferson.
At
But
least
yeah,
the dude had somewhat of a heart.
yeah, but the institution of slavery, that was just a historical thing. That was the norm back then. Yeah, it's bad now. I mean, slavery still exists in some parts of the world.
Mhm.
Like,
Get rid of this
like
play.
Africa.
Yeah, the thing
Who
is,
is offended by this?
Western civilization was the first ever civilization to ban slavery. All other
Correct.
civilizations before Western civilization, were built upon slavery.
I don't know. This is not about slavery. That was a thing that happened hundreds of years ago. I mean, I'm not judging Thomas Jefferson for owning slaves, whatever. It has nothing to do with that.
Correct,
Yeah,
but it
the-
That
does.
was the norm back then. It really was.
You can't judge
I mean, it's terrible, but
people within history. You cannot judge them based upon modern standards. The whole notion is absolutely ridiculous.
that's the thing. Standards.
But the
we're
thing
judging
is-
by modern standards.
But the thing is, Xavier, is that one thing that I noticed about the communists who goes about toppling statues is not just because they're toppling statues for one, because they want to, erase the slave owners one as well too. I mean, if you go by their name, they go by radical Marxists or whatnot. They just wish to, radical anarchists to basically erase the entire history so they could start their chaz all over again.
Okay,
The thing
sorry,
is,
can I...
So let's read a little bit of this article here. See some of the
Yes.
quotes of what people are saying.
It's been less than a week since Lin-Manuel's, I can't pronounce the name, sorry. I don't want to butcher it. Award-winning Broadway musical Hamilton was released on Disney Plus, and people are already taking to social media demanding Disney take it down for the reason that the musical showcases American founding fathers in a positive, glorifying, despite the fact that they had their faults, including many of them being slave owners.
The fatal flaw.
Okay, what? So we can't say that the founding fathers were great people that helped build the best country in the world? Glorifying them is bad now?
What?
Yes, that's the
All
thing.
statues
Like, you
of,
know,
George Washington? What the heck?
Here's what I
these
can't
people,
understand.
they only care about the negative aspects of history. They only care about, like, original sin. Like, these people have no redeeming qualities.
I can't understand why these people can't be used as role models, because they were in a situation they saw was wrong, and they went about the procedure of changing it.
Mm-hmm.
Not sitting there and
They
bitch.
also helped build the country, right? Like,
Correct.
why is that a bad thing?
I can't understand why this is considered to be racist media when they're showing how they removed slavery. This is showing how they removed slavery, isn't it?
Correct.
Yep.
But at the same
They
time, is
hate
all
America.
too.
That's
Yeah.
bull.
I mean, but at the same
And they
time,
don't
is all.
care. They don't
Yeah.
care who they cancel. Like, you guys saw that they toppled a statue of an elk in a park somewhere because there's no reason. They're trying to cancel something like this, which, by the way, is a very diverse and progressive play. Like I said before, it won a lot of awards. Like, it's
Even
not
having a
bad.
brother in the lead.
Adam
Yeah,
Savage's
exactly.
tested went behind stage on this, and from what I could understand, it's a woman who is doing the microphones, so she doesn't deserve to have a job.
The fucking
Wow, SJWs. I'm just going to be blunt when I say this. By trying to be the most inoffensive motherfuckers on the planet, you became the most racist bastards in history. And
Wow,
the
you
most
guys,
sexist.
By turning around and wanting to cancel this person's clearly an African American on the left side
Correct.
of the picture.
Correct.
So he doesn't deserve to have this job.
Yeah, it's supposed to take like a modern take on American history, and it's a very progressive play. It really is. And if you look further down the article, it says it grossed over like $650 million. That is nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a bit more than
crazy.
the Book of Mormon?
The Book of Mormon.
Oh,
You know, by the
please,
South Park creators?
No, please, not Christian stuff at the moment.
It's not Christian. I'm just talking about in terms of plays that sold like hotcakes, man.
It's a
No, but,
play
like, if you wanted to get a
that's
single
a satirical take on the Book of Mormon. That's what the Book
But
of
yet
Mormon
it
is.
sold like hotcakes, man.
Mm-hmm. Hey, yeah,
That's the point.
Yes, but for one, for one thing that I learned a long, long time ago, is when communists, they say that they're fighting for equality, and they're fighting actually for inequality. The thing is that they always fight for the opposite of what they claim to be fighting for.
Yeah.
Okay, look,
Pretty fucking much. But let's try not get too, communist or this heavy, Or else it's going to detract from everything that's going on here.
Yeah,
Here's
the
the thing.
thing is, though, that this is based purely on, like, a purity spiral. Like, this play isn't pure enough. So because it isn't pure enough, it has to be destroyed.
And because there are no gay
Almost like a certain few plays in Berlin down in the 1940s. Do you see the contrast there?
No,
Yeah.
no, my goodness. Okay, that's not what... This is a progressive play that celebrates both American history and modern culture. And they want to get rid of it because it does that, and it doesn't crap on America. That's what these people want to do.
It doesn't pander to their agenda.
No, that's the thing.
But here's the thing why I think they targeted Disney mostly. It's because they bent the knee so many times before, they were hoping that they were going to bend the knee again.
Oh, hold on. So these people like Disney, but they don't like...
They're the reason why Star Wars has went to shit. They're the reason why you see so much crazy shit going on with the Disney Corporation at this time.
Correct.
They say, oh, we love Disney, but whenever Disney does something they don't want, guess what Disney does? They bend the knee and give them an inch.
And blame the fans for being toxic.
Yeah,
This
they've
is a
got to
clear-cut case of
consume,
that,
as they say.
but except in a play form.
So I have to ask, if you're a fan of this Hamilton play, does that mean that you're a white supremacist who supports slavery, or a nationalist or whatever? Or are you just a regular person who appreciates art?
It's
You
no
know,
one, to no one thing
like,
which
it really is that simple.
it's no one thing which I don't get. It's the fact that people say that, like, you support slavery, and it's like nobody in the West supports slavery.
You know, when I
Nobody,
first
man.
heard
Literally nobody.
nah. And like when I saw this play coming out originally, I was like, all right, well, I thought it was kind of a leftist type of or like a liberal type of take on American history, which was fine. You know, it was progressive and whatnot. Or I thought it was progressive. I did not think about slavery for a second when I saw this. I'm like, that's not what it is. I don't care. No.
Basically, don't judge a book by its cover. I mean, sure, it appeared that way, but then all of a sudden to you, when you finally got around to looking at it in full, it wasn't what you thinking it was going in.
Oh yeah, well they won a bunch of awards. Like it was a really successful play, and it was great. And
So
that's why
obviously-
they hated it.
Sorry, so it obviously didn't go down the path of Cats then, the movie.
Oh, God.
Oh God, no.
Cringe.
We do not talk about that sin.
An
That movie
abomination.
is
You know, it's funny. Ever
cringe.
since Cats, all right, I saw a meme once that shows like when Cats was released in like December, and then when like everything hit the fan in 2020, like the economy, the virus, like the race wars, everything.
I mean,
Oh.
I knew the Casper was a bad move, but I didn't know it would be that bad.
Okay. Let's move on to the next subject.
Please, let's not
All right,
talk
fair
about
enough.
this horrifying movie anymore. No.
All right.
Re-examining how we portray cops on screen. Now it's time
Oh,
to
God.
for heroes. So, for fuck's sake.
Vigilantism isn't something you should be going out and doing.
Tell that to Phoenix
that's true.
Jones.
This is the main reason why we have cops, to prevent the need for vigilantes.
No, it's the reason
Now,
why
guys,
you have
mind you-
government.
Well, mind you, this article is from Time Magazine. Yes, the Time Magazine.
The ones who were
want to,
worshiping Greta up and down the street, calling her the new Jesus.
Well,
Yeah, but-
they used to be reputable at some point, but now
Used
I
to.
was
they want
wondering,
to.
wasn't this the same magazine that made Hitler Person of the Year at one point?
Yes.
Yes.
They did.
I wonder how they're still coping with that.
All right, so let's check out what we got going on here. It says in the past several weeks, as calls to defund the police have gone mainstream, pop culture critics and fans have been reconsidering how Hollywood heroizes cops. Really? I'm sorry.
Dude, it's a thankless
Right.
job. It has to be done.
A very
I-
miserable job.
I think they might be calling for movies like Die Hard. Then you got TV shows.
Okay, what about
Potentially.
Zootopia?
Oh, there's that.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
is. Or Paw Patrol.
The-
So now they're going after superheroes. For real.
Yeah, the thing is, though, I wouldn't say that like the calls for defund the police have become mainstream. I would say astroturfed. It's definitely been astroturfed.
I can't
like,
imagine anyone really thinks this. Like, are you offended by Superman being a white guy who's like strong? Like,
No,
Really?
this is basically it's purely a Twitter movement.
just can't believe Time picked up on this. This is
Okay,
really
Yes,
so-
they did.
This part I seriously am curious about. With a few noticeable exceptions, more or less the latter, most superhero stories star straight white men who either function as an what? My spelling's off.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Justice system or vigilance without any checks.
checks.
How usually they have some sort of intertwined relationship with the government. The Avengers
Avenger.
work with the secret agency SHIELD. Batman takes orders from Gotham Police.
Commissioner.
Wait, hold on. I thought the police commissioner and Batman more would talk when there were problems going on.
Yeah,
It
he
depends,
would
like,
actually.
What comic issue you read? Like, depends on the movie. Sometimes
Okay.
But the thing is-
cops like him, sometimes they don't. It
The
varies.
thing is, though, when it comes to the example of Batman, Batman didn't work with the police. There was a rivalry between the police force and Batman because they saw Batman as a violent vigilante.
Right, but that changes though, depending on what issues you're reading. Like, look at Spider-Man, for instance. I'm sorry, Spider Person of Arachnid.
Oh, who cares, man?
So Mr. Spider Person, right? Sometimes the cops hate him, sometimes they don't. Sometimes he works with the fire department, other times he's getting arrested for getting slandered. Yeah, so they're basically now they're going after superheroes, and Time magazine actually wanted to reassess this. Clearly, they're pandering to some kind of a fringe audience. You know why most superheroes are straight white men?
Why is
Because
that?
the majority of readers of these comic books are straight white men. Gee, like, shocker, right? Can you imagine? If it was
Yeah,
like
it's called appealing to
someone
your main
different, like,
audience. That's what it is.
it's supply and demand. Like, no, they market to a specific type of audience, and that's what's wrong with Superman. He's cool. Like,
I don't like this
Captain America
Superman.
next?
So the Superman from this movie, he just didn't seem like Superman to me.
Well, that particular movie, but like just the concept, the original comics are really good.
Oh, is it Man of Steel? Yeah,
But
I haven't seen Man of Steel.
But the thing is, as well, too, the main reason why they're, let's say, have this sudden change and whatnot is because they're pandering. I mean, not just because, I mean, they're trying to break the tradition of, the straight white male readers and whatnot for the sake of diversity.
Yeah, they're trying to appeal to an audience that will never read the comics.
The audience that never gives a shit about the comics.
Well, the
I mean,
dangerous
to be honest, I really don't. I do not care if a superhero is white or black, male or female. It does not. Unless they're a cool character, like that's all that really matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Okay.
should matter.
Here's an example I have. So, Static Shock was a cartoon I watched as a child growing up.
Mhm.
I liked
Same here.
that.
Oh, I love that too.
About an African American child who got superpowers and he went around trying to save the day. Mostly
Oh, yeah.
succeeded.
Cool.
That was the shit back in the day.
Now,
And second,
That's
he
cool.
was mentored by Batman, Superman. Hell, he even got to meet Terry freaking McGinnis.
yeah, this was a later on series, but when you go back to the original one, like the first few, he didn't actually have that. This was more going on. But Black Lightning came out recently, and effectively, from what I can work out, it's the same show except him as an adult. A lot of stuff that happened in the cartoon didn't seem to bleed over, but characters from the cartoon you would see in Black Lightning.
Okay, I've never
Same
seen
city.
it,
Oh, wow.
but
A lot of the same characters would appear, but like I said, as different people.
okay. Well, but like again,
But
I don't care what the race is though. Like, why do people care about this? Like, are they the racists? Do they
have
do
to
they
be.
hate white people so much that they also hate the police so much that my goodness, superheroes are evil because they enforce the law? Is that what I'm getting at here?
Well,
Pretty much.
superheroes don't generally enforce the law. They try to do the right thing. And the problem is when your view on the right thing is skewed or misread, it's not going to... It just makes you a villain.
True. Static Shock
did,
didn't
comment
take
here,
over,
evil
replace
comment.
someone else's character. He was his own person, and that's why he was pretty damn good. Yeah, I mean, Static Shock was the shit. I mean, he was original. I wish
have
we
to
could go
admit-
those days.
I didn't like the last two or the last season of Static Shock, and I liked Black Lightning initially for like the first one or two seasons, but afterwards it just got I just didn't like it anymore. So I stopped
I
watching.
never watched it. I mostly stuck to the Flash and Arrow straight, after all this pandering shit started to begin.
Well, to be honest,
Yeah.
look at the first two series of Static Shock. Black Lightning. It was good.
Now I'll have to give those a watch because they got it on Netflix.
And do you know what's another good thing as well too? Teen Titans. If anyone still remember that.
I remember them. I already mentioned freaking Batman Beyond, which was another good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
All right, guys.
remember
I need to-
Batman
I
the
need to
animated
read a
series.
quote from
Hold
this
on.
article. We
Yeah,
have,
we-
but as we engage in this long overdue conversation about law enforcement. Oh, you scrolled up. Hold on. Go down.
Oh, sorry.
No, scroll down a little bit. Yep. Okay. Up a little bit. There we go. Kind of. As we engage in this overdue conversation about law enforcement, it's high time we also talk about the most popular characters in film. The ones who decide the parameters of justice and often enact them with violence. Superheroes. Cops
Oh,
with
joy.
Mm-hmm.
teeth. Oh boy.
What's next? You're going to be telling me Jill
Spicy.
Valentine's a racist because she defeated the Nemesis?
Yeah, they talk about Spider-Man
With
and
a
Batman.
damn laser cannon mirroring the freaking Doom guy?
Man, how bonkers do you have to be to think like this? Oh, well, Batman
Very.
could be a white supremacist cop lover. Oh my god, oh no. These people are out of their wits.
Out of their wits, they're out of their minds.
I
Yeah,
would love to
these
see.
people are a bit crazy.
Let's move on to the next topic. I sort of went ahead
All right,
of myself,
yeah.
but socialist teeth.
Oh, joy. Here we fucking go, mate.
Ah, shit.
What?
Here we go again.
So,
I can't believe this is a thing.
from my take on it, a smile is considered racist.
Are you joking me?
A smile. Racist.
That's what
Yeah,
that's my
Ever
take.
since when?
I'm going to say this, but am I high right now? Is this fucking reality?
This is 2020,
All right, hold
so
on.
there's your
We
answer.
have to... So these are the memes that are going on. Now, socialist teeth means essentially baring your teeth, and you're particularly a part of a movement. Now, there is a really good meme, which is actually in this article. Do you want to scroll up? Oh god, is that Dio? Oh god.
Yep.
Let's go. Yeah, this one with the bars.
And
So this is
it
the
was
definition.
ironically started by the furry fandom. Us.
Yep.
All right.
No, it's a specific, fringe group of the fandom. That's rather vocal.
So this is what they're trying to spread around, and it's pretty crazy. Like, it's nothing different than what we've seen, like the alt leftist type of bullet points before. Not to get all political on this show or anything, but socialist teeth is literally about Antifa furries posting artwork of them like smiling and growling at all those racists, evil, bad. Oh no!
Okay,
That's what they're trying to do.
Frankenstein.
They're trying to snarl and be all intimidating.
But there's a catch
It's
to it all.
cringe.
It's cringe indeed. But
Yeah,
there's
that's
actually
the catch. It makes you look cringe.
but there's a catch to it all. If it's going anyone's nose, do you know what it is? Did you know that in the furry fandom there is a safe work fetish that involves maws? You know, opening your mouth as detailed as it can be. Close.
Oh, I'm well aware of the Maws versus Paws ordeal. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
exactly. And now, I mean, it's basically something like that.
Just cranked to
Here.
11.
It's a fluffy yinner.
So, Mighty Anna, how many of these pictures are going to be socialist teeth?
None of them.
All of them.
I mean, if they're all burying their teeth, I guess, why are they doing this? Like, what?
They're usually depicted, like, for instance, on this link here, probably too small to see, but with either an open muzzle or they're baring their teeth in an angry way.
Well, yeah, because somebody's pissing on their turf.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah, that's the thing. This meme isn't going to make them look good. It's going to make them look bad. It's going to make them look like
Stupid.
angry.
And the furries who have them
Violence.
as a freaking Sona.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to have a lot of damage.
Yeah, it makes
it to this on Twitter that was also trending called capitalist teeth, where
Ooh.
you know, yeah, you see that? They
I
all
should become a
conservative
dentist.
teeth, like,
orcs.
I mean, like, this is the Twitter wars, man. Like that's what's going on. This is crazy.
Yeah,
All I see is a bunch of
honestly,
bitches pulling hair fighting, to be honest.
yeah, honestly, it's basically a case of Twitter just being full of narcissistic psychopaths.
I wonder how well Mrs. Ocasio Horse Teeth Cortez would fit into this. Probably pretty well, right?
Oh God, you had to go there, man.
Who?
Oh
Who's
man, I
who?
haven't.
Okay.
As I always say,
Okay,
that
I'm
went from
fine.
0 to 60.
Look,
Oh my goodness.
That person's not worth taking seriously, to be honest.
So I have
So-
kind of a scary story, guys. I went
Okay.
on Twitter today to look up this whole socialist tea thing, and I found
Oh,
a
boy.
very prominent artist. I'm not gonna say who this person was, but they had like over 10,000 followers online, and they said they're a proud member of Antifa, and they got on board with this, and were like commissioning, literally like they said, 50% off like commissioning like socialist teeth, like bare your maws or whatever to support your Black Lives Matter or whatever. I'm like, bro, like why? I mean, I get it's like a business thing, but man,
It's a dark
What?
day for the pause and the pause versus Moz.
Especially when you
Yeah,
got
but,
like,
political
okay.
freaks.
but the pause versus Moz thing, that's a furry thing. It's not supposed to be political. We shouldn't get politics involved in freaking baring your teeth, right? Like, what is that even about?
That's
Hey,
because
Vera, it's like I usually say, fuck me, there it is. Because
Sure.
it's going to be there because somebody's going to find a way to put it there.
But basically, to me, it's them saying, "Oh, look at me! I'm a violent thug. I'll physically assault you over political beliefs."
And not only that, but because communists just love, to inject politics where it doesn't belong.
Look,
Just for the sake of
what I'm trying to comprehend here is what's going to happen later on with art websites where you've got someone grinning and baring their teeth as a canine.
In short, they're basically going to be fucked.
And they're going to be viewed
Well,
as a
it's
socialist.
either you're a socialist or remember the Covington kids, that the guy.
Oh, Nick
was
Sandman.
smirking at the
Oh,
kid banging
God.
the drum in his face. That's a racist smirk right there. Oh boy, can't have that.
No, he absolutely cannot.
But I'm more curious how this affects like furries. It really shouldn't, because it's just silly.
It's
It really is.
honestly the socialist teeth hashtag is cringe. It is cringe inducing. It's flipping hardcore cringe larping at its worst. Honestly, I think social media is possibly the worst thing that's ever happened to this fandom.
Social
Sure.
media is the
Well,
worst
it's
thing to have
definitely
occurred to the
cringe.
internet.
Oh, that's another thing
Yeah,
too.
that's true. That's true. Honestly,
No.
I prefer the internet when it was image boards and forums.
Well,
The
I
internet was
I would
better when it
disagree
was like
the
that.
internet has a. Okay, well, I mean, I would disagree that the internet has a negative impact on the fandom. I think it really pulled a lot of people together, especially early on.
Hmm.
I'm just not.
And
a
then
fan of the
everyone
whole
got onto it.
nonsense.
Well, true. I mean,
Social media.
the internet has two ends: chaotic good and chaotic evil.
Yeah, the thing is, I was with the internet, it was fine, but it only became a problem when social media came into existence.
Well,
I wonder how popular this hashtag actually is. Like, was it actually number one, like trending? Well, not number one. Like, was it trending on Twitter? Because I know I've
Alright,
seen it like the past couple
how
days.
do I look that up?
I'm not sure, but it like got a lot of attention. Well, let's see what the article says about it. Hold on. Scroll up a little bit. Let's see the spread. The phrase became associated with an art trend several days later on July 8th. Yeah, okay, 2 days ago. When Twitter user posted a screenshot of a conversation with 3,000 retweets. Okay, wow, really? That's how this happened? Oh my goodness.
The thing is, so 3,000 retweets, that isn't actually that many.
It's not that many, but for furries, it's a lot. Because, like, we're not a very big community.
No,
All right,
no.
okay, this is it.
No, but the
Guys,
thing
this
is,
it. Here we
though,
go.
I don't know. I highly doubt that all of those people retweeting were furries.
Oh, is this a joke? I mean, I think they're serious.
How
Wait, hold on,
serious we talking? Like completely bat fucking sane?
Yeah, let's see.
Sorry.
Okay, so it says oversized bared teeth, normally looking down at the viewer. These are just some grabbed in about 5 minutes. These are all right. So they're just showing a compilation of these type of images, and all these people happen to be Antifa socialist furries. You know, it's weird. A lot of like serial killers have those crazy eyes. You know, like you can see the whites of their eyes, like they look like bonkers.
Yeah, I can name one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Well, I know Manson looked like that.
No, not Manson, but fucking. No, not Manson. Who am I thinking of? I'll get back. John Wayne Gacy, a lot of the usual ones.
Mm.
Oh,
It's hard to tell what's serious and a
it's
joke.
hard to tell what's real and fake nowadays.
True,
Yeah,
true.
dude. Yeah, you're right. Like I watched you know what? Okay. You ever hear of the Babylon Bee, like that satire paper?
Mm.
Oh god.
You know, they've actually made fake articles, and then like afterwards, the stories actually became true.
Oh.
Almost like
Yeah.
a precursor.
They've done that a few times, especially in the last like couple like years.
Interesting.
Like, oh, they say something like, "Oh, well, milk is racist," and then 6 months later, there's a campaign to ban milk because it represents white supremacy or something.
And yet they launch milkshake on conservatives. And yet they launch milkshakes on conservatives.
With acidic properties.
Correct. We have in quick drag concrete too. Destroying the brick. Yep, that's one of their things. In order to make their quick bricks in a cup, so they could yeet it at us.
All right, let's just move on to the next one because I showed this early and I regret that horribly.
Let's move on. Or as I say, spill the nuts, Jolt.
Tencent targets Japanese anime and manga to jumpstart global growth.
Now, where have we seen this before in the words Count Dankula?
Well, just a little pretext before we get into this. Tencent
Wait, where did I go?
is a very large gaming distributor run by China. And so they've been buying up a lot of different shares in different companies for a while.
Mm-hmm.
They started to go after Japanese manga. So let's see what this article is all about here.
True. I mean, at the same time as well too. I mean, they were the ones pretty much paywall in every game you play, especially on mobile too.
Call of Duty Mobile is one such assumption too.
I'm going to try my poor attempt at storytelling here. Tencent Holdings Limited. Okay. Yeah, blah, blah. I'll just start in the next paragraph. The Chinese social media giant in recent months scooped up slices of two prominent local studios, the brains behind smash hit, I can't even pronounce that one, and Malicious
Nier
Inco.
Automata.
Nier Automata and this Marvelous Incorporated.
Marvelous AOL.
Those layouts are just the start of a spending spree designed to extend Tencent's foothold in a key creative hub while...
True.
So what this means, guys, this is actually a pretty scary story. Like, if you look into what they're doing, this is a massive Chinese gaming company. Also, they control like media, other things, but they're a publisher, right?
They're basically the Chinese EA, right?
Yes, they've been spending a lot of money trying to influence creators in different countries. Now, the Japanese have gotten very concerned about this because they have different laws in China. Hell, we already saw that one of their shows was canceled.
One other thing.
Did we get into that? No, we didn't.
One other thing.
This one. Now, here's the thing. In the latest chapter of the manga, the name of the mad scientist who experimented on humans revealed to be the Maruta Shiga. It appears to be a reference to Japan's Biowarfare Unit 731. So basically, the Chinese government, they saw this and they banned My Hero Academia from being published on their platforms.
Are you
Because it
freaking?
referenced a Japanese war crime. That's what they did.
That's just like
And
us
so-
banning or us being banned from Japan because we dropped the nukes on them like freaking years ago,
know,
man.
I know.
Nagasaki and
That's what
Hiroshima.
China's doing.
And
That is
according
what-
to the
that's exactly
Japanese,
why China is buying all these different firms, and they're trying to like influence artists to like change their perspective and be more positive towards the Communist Party of China.
Not
Positive.
gonna happen.
It's sick, dude. China's evil.
Another
That's
thing.
my
I mean,
personal opinion. I'm just saying, but I think China's really scary.
another thing, that I need to add as well too is that recently, TikTok has been getting itself quite a lot of shitstorm. A lot of a few, let's say, other Chinese apps like Baidu and whatnot. They're basically, getting the ban hammer under them. India, for one, has already gotten the ban hammer on that.
Exactly. This
And now
is another one of
TikTok.
those things. You know,
Mhm.
Tencent and even Bilibili. Well, Bilibili and Tencent banned this, but that's just one example. Right now, they're
Mhm.
not necessarily buying out Japanese art firms, but they
No,
do want to
no.
get into the whole manga scene.
Exactly, and for one, they're trying to, basically EA all the way to your waifus and whatnot.
from what I've seen
Yeah.
online, a number of Japanese people in the anime manga scene are protesting the government to say, hey, we need to stop this from happening. We need to stop foreign companies in America, in China, from trying to dictate how the Japanese or us Japanese, well, produce our media.
I know
It's a
who
cultural
was
thing,
Yeah,
not a.
Mhm.
If an American company wants an anime made, what is wrong with them turning around and going out and saying, finding a Japanese company that produces anime and manga or two different ones, and saying,
Well, what would
this
be
is the
wrong with
story
that
we
is
have.
if America tried to implement like censorship and restrictions. For instance, in China, you cannot promote anything. You cannot show any images that have skeletons or ghosts because they
correct.
have very strict superstition laws. So they're going to ban anything like that. It's a very
Well,
old
that's
law,
just
but
dumb
it's
as
one
shit.
of the things like, yeah, China has some superstition laws, so like they don't anything that depicts skeletons, ghosts, zombies, anything relating to like the dead rising up, they don't
Mhm.
support that. So let's say if this Tencent company went into a Japanese firm, like, okay, we're going to publish your manga, but you cannot show any skeletons in there. Otherwise, we're not going to publish you, and you're not going to get your $10 million or whatever it might be.
Well,
That's what
Yeah.
something
they're
I
doing
can't
right now. They're trying to get a foothold.
What I can't understand is why doesn't China just simply remove the images like America has done in the past? So an
it's-
example.
They don't want to remove them entirely because they do make money. They're trying
Correct.
to influence them and change them. They want to augment them to adhere to their political ideas. They don't want to just outright ban them or just buy them outright. 'cause
Thanks,
that
Mao.
would be suspicious.
What used to happen with Dragon Ball Z as a perfect example? So during the Frieza saga, Krillin gets impaled on one of Frieza's horns, and then he starts jiggling his head up and down and saying, "Giddy up, little doggy." That was completely cut from the American one. Unless,
Well,
of course,
yeah.
you got the. But
Really?
you'd get episodes where it was cut down to even some episodes were like 10 minutes long,
Is that
just because
so?
so much had been cut. Yeah,
Yeah,
look it up.
People don't realize
I
that the
was there,
Japanese version
sweetheart.
of Dragon Ball Z is gory. Yeah, it has a lot of gore and violence in it.
Hey,
Which
I
was, like, a little
stopped.
cut.
I completely stopped watching. What's that ninja one called? The
Naruto.
You know,
That's
I have
a
a
normie
pretty
anime, that
good
is.
example of Americans going to different studios for animation. Remember Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Oh
Kinda.
yes, one of the greatest
Oh,
series
yeah,
ever
yeah.
to grace Nick.
Right. It took a lot of Asian influences. However, they did use different animation studios in other parts of the world, and they didn't get censored for it, because that was before everything went woke. But like even South Korea, like they're the animation studio for Steven Universe. Can you imagine if like China like bought one of those studios and tried to like influence Steven Universe, and like they weren't able to promote their little message or say the story that they wanted to?
Yeah, the thing is,
It's
though,
like it disagreed with the Chinese Communist Party.
any references to, like, for example, homosexuality in Steven Universe will be that would be banned from China.
They were banned. Remember the whole episode with the wedding of Ruby and Sapphire? Oh yeah, face of gosh, you're right. China has lost many myths regarding the dead. Absolutely, yes, they have.
Myth and
Especially
law.
the superstition
I'm just going to be saying this if I'm going to, they had Resident Evil comics over there in China exclusively. And from what I've seen, they had a lot of gore and skeletons, man. This was before China started getting heavy with shit. They even had a Dino Crisis one that wasn't afraid to even show a dude's skull. They had a lot of fucking violent ones.
Did you know that Disney changed their poster for Star Wars? But they did not include Finn.
Oh yeah, man, that one was cold.
Well, because a lot of Chinese are, they have some ideas about that.
Some very cultural differences. Some very, very big cultural differences from ours.
All right, so let's read on a little about this article, because it gets very deep about how much money they're actually investing and what they're trying to do.
Let's see. So we're going to read.
Sorry, but the Japanese creators, I don't even want to pronounce that. Control of their prize assets have preferred the ad hoc licensing deals, leading to bidding wars between publishers such as Tencent, TikTok, owner ByteDance.
Well, that's how bribing works. Like, let's say you wanted to start up your own little gaming company, and the Chinese government was like, hey, we're going to give you $2 million to start your company. Okay, great. But you can't do this. You can't say that. Is that okay with you? And if you really want the money, you might say yes. Or if you stand your ground, you're going to say no. It all depends. But that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to change...
sell away your ethics and morals for money.
Yeah, the thing is, though, with when it comes to, any company affiliated with China or within China, people need to realize that each corporation is an arm of the Chinese government.
Right, because
corporations are parts of the Chinese government.
Well, yes, they do have the authority to take over any kind of corporate institution in their country, which they pretty much already do.
EA style.
Like the biggest companies in China, they support the party, they support the agenda. Producers like Tencent.
Tencent, yeah, Tencent.
Yeah, Tencent. They right, so they're trying to get a foothold in different places, and man, this is scary. It's like not a cyber war per se, more like a soft war. I guess probably just part of the culture war.
Culture war, yeah. That's
what it is. Like they're going to refuse. They will refuse to publish a game if it criticizes China. Like they already banned TV shows because they referenced something that the Chinese didn't like. I mean, no one liked.
And I can name one, and it's South Park.
Yes.
Because South they were so critical of them.
South Park were critical of everybody.
And that's what China's failing to understand here.
That's the beauty of free speech. You could be critical of anyone or anything and whatever. Like, if you don't want to hear it, then don't listen. But don't try to stop people from saying their opinions. That's not cool.
No, why would it ever be?
Really...
The one thing to remember, though, it's not the Chinese people that are doing this, it's the Chinese government.
Government, yes.
It is though. It is.
It's Mao Zedong's legacy that brought us to where we are.
Yeah, the thing is though, most Chinese people still live within like a feudalistic sort of system.
But even still, I
Right,
mean,
but like
you-
billionaire leaders of corporations in China, they're not the normal people. They
No.
adhere
Yeah.
to the Chinese Communist Party because they want to keep their wealth and power.
even
Yeah,
the
the
thing,
billionaires
That's what
are
Tencent is
members
doing.
of the Chinese Communist Party.
yes, because even another thing is that how can I say that even the farmers all too, they're not pretty much all that free, and whatnot. Even one thing that I kind of know gets to me a lot is that the mere fact that how in the past we used to have ourselves a world of full of opportunities and whatnot, and now that's basically become quite hollow as well too, given that the fact that all the corporates and whatnot have basically sold us all out, to others, to foreign countries, and yet now we live beneath their boot and whatnot. And all thanks to these money-hungry bastards.
Okay, so going on with this news article, Tencent's vision is to help set up a Marvel Universe-like multimedia franchise with a
I highly
focus
doubt
on
that.
turning celebrated anime and manga, comic books, and heroes and storylines into video games, squeezing the most out of each bit of intellectual property. Now, for me,
Uh,
so let's look at this Marvel Universe thing. Yes, I would like to see some different animes with at least a similar aspect to them having a shared universe. It would be nice to see an anime created or animes created by a couple of different studios that can cross each other, like you see in comic books, like how Marvel and DC would have crossovers. That would be fun to see, but not to take stories that already exist and sort of smash them together, because it's not going to make sense. I mean, this whole Neon Genesis Evangelion thing. The first...
I mean, to be fair, that didn't make sense with like Kingdom Hearts when they had like Winnie the Pooh fighting with like characters with swords and crap. Like, that really didn't make any sense, but this is different. But the thing is, China's not trying to do this. They're trying to essentially use characters from Japanese manga that they technically own and just bring it into their own fold so they can, profit off it themselves.
Like EA.
Kind of like a bootleg.
I'm just going to say it like Ian Malcolm said, you just slap a sticker on it and say, now you sell it, now you sell it.
Well,
You
no,
know,
that's
that's what it is.
If you own the sticker, you can just be like, yep, well, now it's part of my thing. And that's what they're trying to do. Like, if China were to buy, like, substantial amount of, like, I don't know, certain properties, they could use their characters in their own media content, and that's precisely what their plan actually is.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, that they're trying to, like, China thinks that, like, manga is like comic books in the United States. They're trying to treat it like that, but manga and comic books are two different, like, mediums. And you can't just, like, have, like, this extended Marvel Universe thing with, like, manga. It's a little bit more complex than just, like, American, like, comic books and such.
It's not like the Japanese have had bad experiences in the past with their franchises being taken, say, by America and then completely getting shit canned. So an example would be the Godzilla movie.
Correct.
Who remembers the original Godzilla movie in America?
I remember that clearly.
The Chinese hated it.
The Japanese.
Wait, what movie?
Godzilla.
Which one?
Was it 1998?
I think.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, that one.
No, get that heresy out of here.
Oh,
no.
okay. Well, but that's different though, and you know why? Because we're not trying to censor Japanese culture, and like, we're not appropriating. Well, I guess technically we are, but like, not in a negative way though. It's more.
We are appreciating, not appropriating, my dear.
Yeah, but we're not like, okay, so America didn't buy out the Godzilla brand name and try to censor things and whatnot. Like, that's what China's doing. No, it was just a marketing opportunity. Like, there's no propaganda involved.
And then you have Dragon Ball Evolution.
Get the Flammenwerfer.
Yeah, that was the one I was going to bring up.
The single movie that caused a complete restart of the Dragon Ball, or the whole Dragon Ball franchise.
A lot of
This
friends.
movie is the reason why we have Dragon Ball Super.
To give us a proper continuation of what went down.
Unlike the shitstorm they released way back when, which was supposed to be the end of it.
GT, I think it was.
Yeah. I didn't like GT, but I loved Super. I loved the way Super went.
Well, I mean, it's a true continuation. It picks up right after where the original series for Z ended. You had
Yeah.
to go somewhere, man. Plus some of the new baddies and all that, Lord Beerus. Jesus Christ, they went all out. You can tell just to erase the stain that was Evolution.
Yes.
Pretty much like how Resident Evil, went back to its survival horror roots to erase the bullshit that was trying to appeal to the COD crowd where it didn't belong.
Yeah, by the way,
apparently with Dragon Ball Evolution, apparently the creator was brought in to help with the film, and the guys behind the movie just said, no, we know what we're doing. Just, sit over. The creator of the franchise.
Reminds me of this Godzilla situation from '98 then, because they were talking to those guys directly saying, no, we got this, and look at what came out.
An abomination.
From what I understand with Godzilla, he wasn't meant to be the Godzilla.
Oh.
That didn't stop freaking Toho from grabbing his ass for the 2004 movie to be bushwhacked by the one from Godzilla 2000.
So, from what I understand, the Godzilla movie we got in '98 was purely a genesis. He wasn't supposed to be the Godzilla. If you watch the cartoon, the actual Godzilla, the one with the radioactive breath and everything, was in the cartoon. It was one of the offspring. And if a trilogy of movies had been filmed and then released, like with Back to the Future, you would have seen the birth of the Godzilla species and then one of the offspring becoming the actual Godzilla.
You know what's funny about that? Okay,
Actually, there was plans
Godzilla.
for that to happen.
No, so about Godzilla, the whole reason why he even exists? His backstory is that it was because of when the United States dropped nuclear weapons on Japan, and the radiation awoke an ancient dinosaur, and then he started terrorizing Japan. So, was that not essentially a war crime? Why is Godzilla not considered racist or something? Or
Good.
You see, that's what China's trying to do.
the thing is, though,
made a reference to a historical thing. Godzilla's backstory is literally about America dropping nukes on Japan.
Yeah,
And
but
creating
Come
a
on.
huge thing.
Didn't
And they ban that, that's the whole storyline.
didn't the 1998 American Godzilla movie identify that and say, hey, it was caused by nuclear warheads being dropped?
They did, yes.
In French Polynesia,
I think
though.
a couple of them did, yeah.
But there's another catch, though,
That's the
too.
whole origin.
Hey, Vera.
I mean, you can argue if it was a war crime or not. I don't know, but that's the history behind it. That's how Godzilla
it's like
exists.
in the latest Godzilla canon, for example, the nuclear tests in the Pacific weren't actually nuclear tests.
Can you imagine?
They were designed to kill this Godzilla creature.
Correct. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
but
in the 2014 canon, if I can recall.
Yeah, it's 2014 canon, and
But there's actually.
Isn't King Kong, Skull Island, a part of that canon too?
Well, true.
Yeah, it
King
actually
Kong,
is.
He's from I don't think that had anything to do with the nuclear war. That was more of a random island that no one discovered, and there was still ancient things living there.
Yeah.
Yet that didn't stop King of the
I guess
Monsters from
Godzilla
at
would
least
fit in pretty
referencing
well.
him.
But there's actually another catch-all too. Coming back to Godzilla, did you know that there's actually a very, very old movie that references the origin of Godzilla, and it's pretty fucking dark. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Hey, Noble, do we have any live comments? anything interesting going on in the chat?
Nothing I think would be appropriate to put on.
Ooh,
I've
that
seen a
does
few
not
going
sound
through,
bad.
and I've put them up, but at the moment, I don't see anything worthwhile.
All right. If anyone has any questions, anything they want to say, just let us know.
And we'll
Anything
grab
about the
answer.
origins of Godzilla?
Okay, so there is one silver lining behind this 10-cent story, and that is that Japan actually fought back. Because, well, not the government per se, but like basically what happened was in the article it says that I mean, maybe not this article, but a bunch of artists who were confronted by the Chinese government representatives from Tencent, they actually wrote letters to the Prime Minister of Japan, about their concerns. They said, "Look, we're worried about censorship. Like, we don't want any influence on our content, and they want the Japanese government to do something about it." It was a bunch of like major content creators of like manga, anime, art in general. Yeah.
Chances are, I mean,
So
they're
they're
just
actually
gonna.
trying to address the like they're fighting back against it. Like, they're not going to take that cheap, easy deal and give in to the Chinese government. Like, they're actually talking to like the prime minister about this. Can you
Chances.
imagine being like the prime minister of Japan and getting a letter? Hello, I make manga. I'm concerned. Like,
Well,
that must be
true.
weird.
True. Actually, pretty weird too. But there's another catch too. Is that if they're basically, let's say, fighting back against all this, the best, and most probable outcome of that is the TikTok outcome, aka getting banned.
Yeah, banning the cringe.
Oh, true.
Yes.
Actually, I know why they're banning it in the UK, the US. It's because, bro, it's
because of
keylog and
privacy
shit.
and security.
Yeah, that's what I was
It's-
going to say. And plus, it's keylog and everything.
Well,
Yeah.
here's a question: how much would the anime and manga scene in Japan actually make? How much tax revenue would they get from it?
Good
We're
point.
talking
Well,
international sales here as well.
No, well, I don't think it's more about tax revenue. I mean, well, it would be like, I guess, property that they sold, like intellectual property.
Yeah, but the thing
It's
is,
more
though,
about the spreading of a political idea, though. It's more about that.
Yeah,
It's about promoting
the-
China.
the Chinese themselves, I highly doubt they would be interested in manga purely due to the fact it's Japanese, and the Chinese
and
and the
they hate the Japanese.
Japanese they don't really like one another because of things they did to each other.
Oh, true. I mean, thing actually in Asia too, as far as I heard as well too, everyone hates each other to some extent, as far as I know.
Yeah, the thing is, though, in Asia, a lot of countries are getting tired of China.
I can smell World War III coming in.
Even
very,
freaking India's getting tired of this shit, too.
India's already been attacked.
I mean, they basically just banned TikTok for one.
Yeah, the thing is, though, the main reason why Britain and America are going to ban TikTok is because TikTok breaks privacy laws. It pretty much breaks pretty much every privacy law that America and Britain has.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, though, it wouldn't surprise me if Australia and New Zealand will probably end up banning TikTok also
Chances
over
are that
those two concerns.
chances are that most likely is going to happen. Gosh darn
Because
TikTokers and their cancer.
yeah, at least to be a concerted effort, around the world to destroy cringe.
Oh, true. Especially socialist cringe. Death is a preferable alternative to communism.
Oh,
Hey,
Faceabout's
Okay,
pretty good
frickin',
comment. What about
Hold
the
on, Fury. Which one is
Okay,
it?
Liberty Brown.
TikTokers and their cancer? All right. Well, guys, we're pretty much nearing the end of the show. Yeah, it's been interesting. This is just another crazy week of 2020. For those of you who celebrated, I hope you had a great 4th of July last weekend. I sure did. It was fun. We had a bonfire.
I was too drunk to
blew some stuff
remember.
up. Yeah, all that. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I'd like to go through some last closing statements. Gil,
Yes. Well, oh yes,
anything to
yes.
say about tonight? Any last words?
Oh yes, actually, I mean, look, 2020 is a massive shit show. So basically, you're not alone as well too. When everything's go, it's like and you feel like you're in shit as well too. Because I pretty much feel like in shit myself as well too. Like like finding jobs and whatnot, it's kind of quite hard and whatnot. I mean, believe me, I was a cleaner when all this shit happened. I mean, while this shit started. And guess what? My workload doubled because of that. So you're basically not alone, little too, when you feel like something bad happens. Not just so you know that you're not alone. And I do care a lot for you, but and for the sake of the Raiders, just take the goddamn care. We don't want to fall victim to this Chinese bioweapon.
Okay.
From
Orion?
this virus of unspecified origin, as they want you to say it.
It is
All right, fine.
communist weaponry. I
Aemon?
know it.
Okay. What?
Yeah, closing statements.
I couldn't hear you because someone just wheezed, man. Okay, closing statement.
We are not getting into another debate about like Chinese bioweapons. All right.
Okay,
Well,
okay.
I'm not aiming for that crazy shit. Oh my god.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you a closing statement. All right. How do you think this week went?
Terrible.
I agree. All right. Well,
Orion?
anything else?
I'm hoping,
Okay.
everyone's had
Orion, yes.
good week, and just keep things cool in the Raiders. Peace out.
All right. And finally, our amazing technological producer of today, Noble.
The Giggle Doggy.
I am terrible at reading. That's all I'm going to say.
The Australian
hope-
giggle doggy.
I hope the Japanese end up winning against the Chinese with this because try to keep sane for the next couple of weeks as well because you're going to need it.
Quick little closing statement as well too. Did the Japanese actually beat the Chinese? We were just the ones who saved them at the time.
Yeah, Gil, you're totally right.
But it's the war
Oh,
of the 2020.
life on the outside ain't what it used to be. The world's gone crazy. It's no longer safe on the street. Just go home, grab a beer, and wait for all this to blow over.
Oh, I agree.
Is that the Super Jail theme song?
With a side of
Yes, it
Shaun
is.
of the Dead's like, grab Liz, grab Mom, go to the Winchester, have a nice pint, and hope all this blows over.
And
That's a good
Yeah,
suggestion.
but the
I
thing
know
is,
that
though, in
song. I
Britain,
know
they
it
closed
goes,
all the pubs.
That sucks.
all right, guys. I'm glad everyone enjoyed this incredible podcast. Every week does seem to become increasingly bonkers. Noble, if you'd like to put our banner down. Oh,
how
shout
do
out
I-
to Jolt Squirrel. Yeah, he's great. All right, so in the future, you guys can check us out. We're on Stitcher, Apple Play Store, Podbeam, and Google. And hopefully more platforms to come in the future. All right. Did I say it all? Yes, I did. Okay, great. This is us signing off. Until next week. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good one and see you then.
Adios.